Imagine you have an entirely free weekend. No work, no deadlines, no major responsibilities, except for a single appointment at 3 p.m. And somehow, that one tiny event completely paralyzes your entire day. You don't start that project, you don't relax, and instead, you drift around your house in a state of low-level stress. Millions of people experience this exhausting paralysis, often joking online that they are stuck in waiting mode. But spending hours being unproductive without actually resting isn't just a harmless quirk. It actively accelerates burnout and mental fragmentation. If you struggle with this, you are not lazy, and you do not have bad time management. Your nervous system is actually being hijacked by a specific psychological glitch. And until you understand how it forces your brain to constantly monitor the future, you will never be able to reclaim your free time. To understand why waiting mode happens, you first have to understand something called the Zeigarnik Effect. Psychologists observe that human beings tend to remember unfinished tasks more easily than completed ones. In simple terms, your brain strongly dislikes open loops. When something important is unfinished, unresolved, or approaching in the future, part of your attention stays attached to it. Appointments are the perfect example of an open cognitive loop. The moment you know you have to be somewhere at 3 p.m., your brain starts quietly monitoring the future. What time should I leave? What if traffic is bad? What if I lose track of time and forget? Even when you are sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing, part of your mental bandwidth is still occupied by preparation and vigilance. It feels like your brain has a giant background tab open all day long. The more mentally overloaded or burned out you already are, the harder it becomes to redirect attention away from that unfinished loop. So by late morning, your nervous system enters a strange state. You are mentally hovering. Your brain resists activities that feel immersive or time-consuming because it is afraid to lose focus. So instead of deeply engaging with anything, your brain defaults to low-commitment behaviors. Scrolling on your phone, pacing around the kitchen, refreshing apps, half-watching videos. Not because those activities are satisfying, but because they feel psychologically safe. A useful way to think about it is like standing on a train platform. When you are waiting for a train, your attention stays partially locked onto its arrival. You don't start a huge project on the platform. You don't fully relax. Part of your awareness remains focused on, when is it coming? Waiting mode feels exactly like this. Except instead of waiting 20 minutes for a train, your brain forces you to mentally stand on the platform for 5 straight hours. In a culture obsessed with productivity, this creates a massive layer of stress. You start criticizing yourself. Why am I wasting the entire day? Why am I like this? Transitioning between rest mode and appointment mode takes genuine energy. And when your cognitive resources are depleted, it feels impossible. So how do you interrupt waiting mode? You can't eliminate anticipatory thinking completely, but you can reduce the amount of mental energy your brain spends monitoring the future. Part of the reason your brain stays hyper-focused on the appointment is that it doesn't trust itself to stop monitoring it. Remove the need for constant vigilance by setting a very specific alarm for when you need to start getting ready, not for the appointment itself. You are essentially outsourcing the monitoring process to your phone, allowing your nervous system to release that background tension. Waiting mode paralyzes us because we think we don't have enough time to do anything important. So the brain chooses nothing. Instead, shrink the task. Read 10 pages. Clean one single shelf. Small, completed actions help restore a sense of movement and agency. Your brain is not trying to ruin your day. It is trying to protect you from forgetting something important. The problem is simply that modern nervous systems were never designed to spend entire days anticipating tiny scheduled events. The appointment will still exist without your constant supervision. Set the alarm, close the loop, and step away from the platform.